Good morning to you. I am Mark Sudduth, and here's what's up in the tropics. It is Saturday, the 30th day of July now, 2022. Good news to report if you're headed to the beaches this weekend. No worries out in the tropical Atlantic, the Caribbean, the Gulf, or the Southwest Atlantic. All is nice and quiet, and we will absolutely end the month of July on a quiet note. The satellite imagery confirms that, and you can really see all the dust out here, even in this particular product. We call this the True Color. In the daytime, it looks nice and colorful, and at night, it's the shortwave infrared, picking up on the heat signatures, or the lack thereof sometimes, cold cloud tops, nice and bright, warmer temperatures that you see either on the surface of the Earth or from cloud cover being lower in the atmosphere. Those show up as a more dull color. But the bottom line is the Atlantic is dominated by dry, stable air, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. And I know I sound like a broken record. I've said it a lot of times. This is a very normal thing to see in the month of July, even going into the first couple of weeks of August. And yes, even during a season that is predicted to be very, very active. And it is still very active in the Eastern Pacific. Now, this was a surprise. This was not forecast by any of the experts. The Pacific hurricane season was supposed to be weaker than normal, and it still may be. This whole bunch of activity that we have seen during the month of July could dry up and pretty much go away once we get into August and September, and the Atlantic eventually takes over, assuming that that happens. We shall see. But for now, we do have Hurricane Frank and Tropical Storm Georgette. Good news is neither of these systems will pose any risk of impacts to Mexico. Maybe some swells coming in, and that is an impact, but not the same, of course, as a direct hit from a hurricane. And just interesting to see how active the Eastern Pacific has been, while the Atlantic has been pretty much dormant almost the entire month of July after Colin. Now, one way to visualize where we are and where we're going potentially is to look at the ensembles. That is to say, more than just one model instead of just the operational, kind of like asking a group of people their opinion on something, say 20 people, and then you get a consensus, maybe where everybody wants to go for dinner, or what movie they want to see, or their favorite song, or whatever. Instead of just one person, you ask a group, you get a consensus. That is similar to this ensemble method. Instead of relying on just one singular model output, you group them all together, and you get an idea of where things might be headed. And as you can see, once we get to the end of the forecast period, this runs out all the way to August the 15th. We go from not much in the way of anomalous low pressure, those are the yellows, oranges, and reds, to one where the pattern is more conducive for lower air pressures at the end of the period. There's also a lot of action in the Eastern Pacific still, so we'll have to see, does that area stay busy, or does it finally calm down, allowing the Atlantic basin to finally wake up? Again, this goes out to mid-August. It's about 5 days later, around August 20th, that the Atlantic really starts to wake up, climatologically speaking, and it literally can be that fast over just a few days time frame. Everything can kind of switch on and the Atlantic can get really busy. So we'll look at this fairly often, especially during the hurricane outlook and discussion that I will do on Monday. I just wanted to introduce it to you today. A good tool to see, again, where we are and where we might be headed. At least for this weekend, we're headed towards a quiet pattern still, so that's good news. All right? Have a great rest of your Saturday, a great weekend ahead. Again, I'm Mark Sudduth. This has been What's Up in the Tropics. I'll be back and do it again all over tomorrow morning.